Hi everyone, my name is Bailey Wilton, and this semester I have had the pleasure of being the team leader for the Oklahoma Funding Accelerator. So our team is a little bit different from the team that you just heard from and the ones you'll hear from later today, because instead of giving us just one project, the staff likes us so much, thinks we are so capable, that they decided to give us 3, so one for each of the OFA associates. So this semester we've had the opportunity to work with Bookster, Francis Renewable Energy, and Spirit Wind Kids Ranch. But I'll leave it to the associates to get into the specifics of the work. Instead, I want to give a few thank yous to the people that have helped us to get to where we are today. First, I want to thank the CCW staff, so Jeff, Sue, Susan, Patrick, and of course a huge thank you to our fellow casts. I think we'd all be lost without you. Next, I want to thank the OFA clients, so Sarah Hill of Bookster, David Jankowski of Francis Renewable Energy, and Kathy Jackson of Spirit Wind Kids Ranch. But finally, I want to give the biggest of thank yous to the 3 OFA associates. So I remember at the beginning of the semester, before I even met these guys, Cass pulled me aside and said, "Okay, Bailey, I know you've done this a couple semesters. Remember, these people are new. Don't set your expectations too high right away." But of course, I didn't listen to her, and I'm so glad that I didn't, because I can honestly say at this point in the semester, these guys have not only met, but have exceeded every single one of the expectations I had for them. And even though we never got Kindon to dye his hair red to match the rest of us, I can absolutely consider this semester a success. So to tell you more about the work that has made this semester so successful, I'd now like to introduce you all to Harrison House, Kindon McGeehee, and Carly Norwood. I hope you all enjoy this semester, or this presentation, as much as I enjoy this semester. Now you can clap.
All right, good evening, everyone. We're also excited to be here and present for you guys tonight. It's my pleasure to introduce the OFA team. Just so you guys know, as Bailey mentioned, we're a little bit differently than the other teams that you're going to hear from tonight. We're 3 individuals that work one-on-one with local startups at a consulting capacity with whatever issues or challenges they may be facing. That being said, as much as we would love to go through the entire scope of our projects this semester, due to time constraints, we can only go through one of the 3 segments we worked on. But with that in mind, we're happy to answer any questions you guys have at the end. So without further ado, my name's Harrison House. I'm a senior entrepreneurship major from Grapevine, Texas, and I'm consulting Bookster.
My name is Kindon McGeehee. I'm an entrepreneurship and finance major, and I'm consulting Francis Renewable Energy.
My name's Carly Norwood. I'm a finance and entrepreneurship major junior from Midland, Texas, and I'm consulting Spirit Wind Kids Ranch.
Bookster is an online community of 1.5 million book lovers that makes discovering new books more entertaining, informative, and socially engaging than ever before. Bookster users can track their reading life on their bookshelf, ask for recommendations, buy books at competitive prices, and share their love of reading with the Bookster community online as well as on the Bookster app, set to launch in the near future. Bookster's CEO and OU alumni Sarah Hill has tasked me with creating a strategy to monetize the Bookster app and diversify their revenue streams. So in doing so, I started off by brainstorming a broad list of 11 possible new revenue streams and prioritizing them based off of ease of implementation and revenue potential. I came up with my recommendation for Bookster in that they implement in-app advertising, push notification promotion, as well as a strategic partnership with Book of the Month Club. After that, I looked at market demand, talked to industry experts, benchmarked these 3 new opportunities against Bookster's current revenue streams as well as similar other revenue streams, and lastly, looked at industry average impression rates, conversion rates, and click-through rates to come up with my pricing recommendations as well as revenue forecasts for these 3 new opportunities. I'm also recommending that Bookster broadly expand their advertiser reach outside of just the big 5 publishers, but to advertisers that hit Bookster's key user core demographics, and that's female millennials. So for tonight's presentation, I'm going to talk through a little bit about those three opportunities I'm recommending for Bookster and the financial implications of each. So by implementing these 3 new revenue streams, Bookster can grow or add an additional $475,000 each year. Now the most exciting of these 3 new opportunities is that partnership with Book of the Month Club. Book of the Month Club is a monthly subscription service in which users receive a new book to their doorstep each month for a monthly fee. Now, this partnership what this partnership would look like is that on the Bookshare website, they would implement a permanent fixture and on their app that not only promoted Book of the Month Club, but led their users to purchase those memberships. After that, Bookshare would receive a cut of each sale. Now, this has been a really exciting opportunity and process to be a part of because after recommending this to Bookshare, they've received a lot of positive feedback and have actually gone out and sought this partnership. Book of the Month Club in those initial meetings have actually quoted it saying they would pay a $25,000 per month engagement fee for this partnership, as well as $3 to $5 for every conversion through the Bookshare website and app. Now, I'm also recommending that Bookshare implement in-app advertising and push notification promotion. Now, these two opportunities, as far as monetizing an application, may seem somewhat obvious, but my focus here was not only confirming that they had strong revenue potential and were the easiest to implement, but I was focused heavily on creating accurate pricing recommendations and revenue forecasts for all three as a whole. So what are the financial implications for each of these? That partnership with Book of the Month Club would generate around $350,000 additional dollars in revenue each year for Bookshare. Based off of Bookshare's 1 million unique visitors to their website each month, as well as industry average click-through rates and conversion rates, I've estimated that they'll see around 1,000 conversions per month through this partnership. This would generate another $30,000 each month. Not only is this a lucrative opportunity for Bookshare, but Book of the Month Club only needs 311 conversions per month to break even with this partnership. Now, with in-app advertising, Bookshare would generate another $109,000 each year. Based off looking at other app user growth rates and implementing Bookshare's 1.5 million current online users, I've projected that they'll see around 100,000 active app users within 6 months of their app launch. This will generate another 400,000 advertising impressions per month and another $9,000 each month. And lastly, push notification promotion will bring in another $15,000 each month. Now, I know many of you, and I do as well, see these push messages from applications as annoying at times, but research has actually shown the 4 to 6 messages per month range can actually be seen as engaging, especially when they're highly targeted messages, which Bookshare absolutely has the capabilities to do. This will bring in another $1,300 per month. So as you can see, by implementing these 3 new opportunities, Bookshare can bring in another $475,000 each year. So throughout the semester, I've provided Bookshare this strategy of these 3 new opportunities and how to pursue them. I've given them my pricing recommendations and revenue forecasts based off of market research. And so that they can expand their advertiser reach, I've already given them a list of 200 new advertisers that Bookshare can reach out to. So moving forward, I'm recommending that Bookshare do just that. Go ahead and reach out to those new advertisers so they can get the word out, not only about Bookshare Online, but the Bookshare app launch. And then Bookshare can go ahead and start promoting the Bookshare app launch through their strong social media presence with the goal of launching the Bookshare app in February of 2017. Now I'm going to hand it off to Kendon to talk about Francis Renewable Energy.
Thank you, Harrison. Francis Renewable Energy is a Tulsa-based startup focusing on the sale and financing of renewable solutions. Originally, they started off with ground source heat pumps, but have been looking to expand their solar commercial portfolio by moving to Texas, where there is a projected growth of 814% in the next 5 years. They want to take this growth and increase their sales, become a larger competitor in the solar industry. Initially, I started off with market research over 4 main Texas cities, that being the DFW area, Houston, Austin, and San Antonio, and found that Austin would be the best initial market for FRE to target. And within Austin, I aggregated commercial portfolios of these solar competitors and found that hospitals and manufacturers would be their best target market, commercially speaking. And when looking over reviews and speaking with solar companies, I found that the best way to market to hospitals would be through the aesthetics and the reduction of their operating cost. For this presentation specifically, I'll be focusing on hospitals. So why hospitals? Well, in Austin, in these commercial portfolios, they are 30% of these commercial portfolios build up. That's higher than any other industry. And so that shows that they're a prominent adopter of solar. Within that sample, I found that hospitals over 50,000 square feet reached a minimum capacity goal of 250 kilowatts, and that's a goal that FRE has. And they're also all physician-owned hospitals. So there are still 65% of physician-owned hospitals in Austin that have yet to adopt solar, and of the 35% that have, 83% use solar-covered parking. And solar-covered parking provides double-sided value for the customer and the hospital. For the customer, it provides protection for your car and inclement weather and the heat. That's all a huge value add for these properties, and so it should be marketed in that sense, and for providing energy for the hospitals. It also is a vacant space that hospital already has and can use for more energy capacity than, say, their rooftops. Although this is at a higher cost, it's a cost that the hospitals have been shown to bear and do so willingly. So FRE should market their capabilities in providing those solar-covered parking arrays. So how much does one of these sales bring in? Well, at the minimum of 250 kilowatts as FRE's goal, FRE can profit $140,000, and that is on the smaller end. And in Austin alone, that leaves a total addressable market of over $9 million, and the rest of Texas to market to at over $27 million, and that is with the segmented hospitals. So in order to do this, FRE should take the next steps of being able to provide those solar-covered parking arrays, and that could be through third-party contracting or hiring engineers that are available of providing those feats. Then marketing and making those sales to those hospitals in the Austin area, and specifically those facility managers, and those are the key purchasers in that end decision. And lastly, using the sale or two they can get in the next year for later expansion. I've provided the market research over the Texas cities, and I'm going to provide the list of hospitals and facility managers to reach out to for those sales. And lastly, I'm providing that marketing strategy for FRE. With that, I'm going to hand it off to Carly Norwood and Spirit Wind Ranch.
Thank you, Kendon. Spirit Wind Kids Ranch is a 501c3 nonprofit organization located in Stratford, Oklahoma. They aim to be a spiritual retreat facility center focused on empowerment through self-discovery by offering a number of different experiential learning opportunities both on the ranch and in the community. Spirit Wind hopes to provide a safe space for kids of all ages, 3 to 103, to explore, experience, and evolve. My client this semester, Kathy Jackson, has a number of different ideas of what Spirit Wind can be and where it can go, and my project this semester has been working with her to narrow down those ideas into what we can do now and what we can expand to in the future. For my first phase of work, I conducted a survey to determine the market feasibility of Spirit Wind's potential offerings and found that Spirit Wind should begin offering workshops and KidWind-related courses. KidWind is a STEM-based education program to teach children about wind energy. Next, I worked with Kathy to determine a growth strategy for Spirit Wind to achieve their big vision based on location of these offerings. And lastly, I created an adjustable financial model to determine the financial implications of Spirit Wind's 3 phases. Spirit Wind has a big vision of being an organic retreat facility center that impacts lives across the state of Oklahoma. They want to grow from their current 15 acres of land to 250 acres of land that has on-site huts, a restaurant, spa, horse stables, and an organic meditation and vegetable garden. Assuming that the 250 acres of land for expansion will be donated, this will cost a total of $500,000 in infrastructure for Spirit Wind to expand. A large portion of my project this semester has been determining how Spirit Wind reaches their big vision. I've worked with Kathy to set goals for each of their 3 stages to determine that Spirit Wind should grow in 3 separate stages. Currently, Spirit Wind has 15 acres of land that is not ready for a large number of visitors, and they're currently holding different KidWind courses throughout the community, but have yet to charge for these courses. So initially, I'm recommending that Spirit Wind start immediately charging for these courses, as well as hold all of these offerings off-site. Spirit Wind will begin this stage by offering teacher trainings, workshops, adventure camps, and after-school programs. After a year in stage 1, Spirit Wind will be ready to move on to stage 2. Stage 2 will require a $10,000 investment cost to build a prefab building on their current land. In stage 2, Spirit Wind will move their offerings from stage 1 to stage 2 and holding it on this current 15 acres land. After 2 years in stage 2, Spirit Wind will be ready to grow to stage 3 and reach their big vision because they will have some of the money required to cover the $500,000 investment cost. The financial implications of these 3 stages For stage 1, Spirit Wind will make about $25,000. And for this stage to be a success, Spirit Wind will need to be able to build a market for their offerings. Assuming Spirit Wind can build this market for their offerings, after 1 year, they'll have enough money to cover that initial $10,000 investment cost that they were needing and be able to move on to stage 2. In stage 2, after 2 years, Spirit Wind will be able to make over $90,000. And for this stage to be a success, Spirit Wind will be able to need to further grow that market as well as validate that there is a market for these offerings on her current land. Assuming that both of these factors are met, Spirit Wind will be ready for stage 3 after 2 years. For after 3 years, Spirit Wind will have over $100,000 in profit to go towards stage 3. This means they'll need just about over $390,000 of investment costs for stage 3. And I know this looks like a large amount, but it is feasible to receive a loan for this amount because Spirit Wind will have the monthly cash flow necessary to make their loan payments, as well as will have the they will have the land as collateral just in case of any unforeseen circumstances. Spirit Wind does have a really big vision of who they want to be and where they want to go, but following these 2 stages will allow them to be there successfully. Moving forward, I've provided Spirit Wind with survey analysis of their future offerings, an adjustable financial model, as well as tools to help them complete writing a business plan and grants. Moving forward, Spirit Wind should immediately begin charging for their offerings. They should start looking for and installing a prefab building on their current 15 acres of land, as well as, after 1 year, moving their stage 1 offerings to stage 2. OFA this semester has been able to provide Bookstore with over $475,000 of new revenue streams, identified Austin as a viable market for FRE as well as hospitals as the target market for them, and has been able to provide Spirit Wind with a growth strategy to help them achieve their big vision. That is all from OFA for this semester, and we now open the floor for any questions. Yes.
How do you hope to convert an audience from, like, say, something like Goodreads for Amazon Books to Bookstore?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the question was, how do we convert Goodreads, which is the industry leader in this social book discovery platform, to users of Bookstore? One of the big differentiators between Goodreads and Bookstore is so much more content driven. On social media, for example, they're generating one new post about every hour, so they're much more engaging to their users, and that's something that differentiates them a lot from Goodreads. Also, their social media presence is really strong as far as generating those initial users to the app. Bookstore will be able to do that a lot easier. They have about 3 million social followers on their social sites.
Yes.
For the FRE, if you look at for all the hospitals and offices that are currently using solar solutions, what the actual square footage of parking is available, and like are they actually being parking lots or are they parking garages? That might affect the
Yeah, so the question was, did I look into the size and square foot of the parking lots and parking garages? In fact, typically most of the solar covered parking is on top of the parking garages, and it still is enough to provide a large enough capacity, and they have been very pleased with payback periods between 6 and 10 years. So it does still work, and it's even better for the urban areas that don't have the big vacant lots next to them. So yes, that is another viable option for those in the more downtown areas as well that use parking garages.
Yes.
For Spirit Wind, given that a lot of the funds were coming from teacher training, have you looked at how the current state of education is going to affect their ability to make those funds in that time?
So the teacher trainings are mainly going to entail, the question was, have I looked into how the current state of education is going to affect the teacher trainings? The teacher trainings are mainly entailing training teachers in the KidWind education course, not specifically just like education in the classroom. So this would be something teachers would be doing outside of their classrooms, and they're mostly sponsored by different wind companies throughout Oklahoma, so the state of education isn't something that we're projecting that will affect that. Yes.
For FRE, how do you convince facility managers to opt for solar panels on their premises? Because I know that at times they say it's costly, which is why some people don't want to use solar panels.
Yes, so the question was, how do you get them to make that sale? And that is difficult because it is a much more costly expense. It's $3.50 a watt compared to $2 in that range for a rooftop. But it's been seen through that percentage at 83%, adopting that within the market that has already so far, and then in talks with them as well. It's a cost they're willing to bear because of the value add for the customers. So it's been prominent so far and then proven in secondary research as well. But it is a much heightened cost, and it takes a little stronger marketing to do so.
We have time for one more question. Yes, sir.
What is the efficiency of the solar panels because they are changing? So how long the product will be there that you have to
So yeah, so the question was, what are the efficiencies of these solar panels because they have been changing? And that's correct. The cost have been decreasing over the years. That's why it's more feasible, and the efficiency has been going up. But they all range between 18 and 21%, especially those that are set in. The lighter solar panel takes in more like 12 to 11%, but it's also portable. But FRE would be in that 18 to 21% range of efficiency, comparatively speaking. And I think that answers the question.
I was also saying, if you have changing prices.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not sure the projected efficiency is going to grow much more. They've kind of leveled off on that research right now. But yes, and that payback is around 6 to 10 years on average. So if there was an update, there would probably be an update on the warranty or something along the lines of cheaper costs for that.